Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Today I want to do a reaction video about a story that has been doing news in Kenya. And that is the story of a Muranga man who lost 700,000 shillings, 700,000 shillings after selling some family property and lost it within 1 week. Let me react to this because this is a common trend and this is something that has been happening over a period of time. I remember when we were growing up, being able to hear stories of old men who would go and get their coffee bonuses and disappear for a week, only to come later to a family that is worried and broke. Children cannot be able to go to school and such things. So allow me to react to this because this is a lot more common than you think. So it is quite shocking to be able to see a man of his age and a man of his stature losing 700,000 shillings. So the story goes on to say that the man sold the piece of land for 700,000 shillings and decided to go to a local drinking joint. So decided to go to a pub, had the money in the account, decided to go to a pub to at least enjoy some of bit of this money. And I'm not saying it is bad to enjoy, but sometimes when you mix money and emotions, and especially after a drink, you end up making the wrong decision. And this is exactly what this man did. So he goes to a pub, doesn't go home, doesn't do anything with the money, but while the money is still warm in his pocket and in his bank account, the man goes to a pub and drinks. So drinks and gets excited, meets a lady, decides to go with the lady to her house, gives the lady the ATM to be able to open a business that he had decided to open, but now decides to make this lady a partner of sorts. So the story goes on to say that the guy gives him the ATM, the lady asks for this amount of money, the guy would give, and they would go to a partying spree for week after week after week. Now, several weaknesses. People have several weaknesses, and one of the many weaknesses, especially of men, and it's good to talk about the weaknesses of men. The first thing is alcohol. Alcohol is one of the biggest weaknesses of men, and I always talk about these things financially, how it affects men and their capacity to be able to make good financial decisions. So, alcohol is one of the issues, the problems. The second is women. And I'm not saying your wife, I'm not saying your sister, I'm saying women, especially women who come at the time when you have received this portion of money. You have received this portion of money and they come and seduce you. My friend, if you are a man, you want to make good financial decisions, all these small sweethearts that come along when you have this amount of money are not good for business. They're not good for money. They have never been good for money. Any man would fall for it, and I would not accuse this man of falling for it because any man would fall for it, especially when you find that you have this lady who bows to every of your need, even needs that you never thought existed. I can imagine this old man and this lass will be able to meet the needs that he himself had never thought he had. So this guy, probably this lady will even wash his legs. This lady will probably shower him if that was possible. Basically, every demand he never thought existed, this lady did it. And at the point of being stroked, with his beard and all these things, he would give out the money. And these are some of the weaknesses that we as men have when it comes to financial issues. We tend off to get excited when we're excited to make bad financial decisions. And these are some of the things that the guy does. So after 7 days, 700,000 shillings is over. And we should, as men and women, be able to get these lessons. However much money you earn, how many people have won lotteries in Kenya? How many people have won betting, sports betting events, especially now with the World Cup? Many people have won millions and millions of shillings. So having a windfall does not solve your financial issues. But you can be able to do several things that can be able to help you when you have this amount of money, whether it is windfall or sale of a property or inheritance or money that you just acquired at that time. The idea is when you acquire this amount of money, you would rather have the amount of money set somewhere as you have a period to calm down. A period to calm down to allow you to be in the right frame of mind. Because remember, like I always teach, when you are emotional, you make bad decisions. When you're excited, you end up losing more money or giving out a lot of money and being a lot more generous because of your happy mood. When you are sad or when you are fearful, you end up holding on and not making investing decisions. So you end up not making profits. You end up not making investments that can be able to grow your finances. And this is the problem that most people do. You make decisions when you're emotional. I always tell the people that I talk to is if you're paid today your salary, do not even spend it for 3 days or at least a week. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about the money that has hit your account. Wait for 3 days so that you can be able to be in the right mind as you make those decisions. I have worked in payroll, I have worked in finance, and I can tell you that the most happiest day is when people are paid. You sit in the office and a lot of people have those SMS prompts that tell you when money hits your account, and you would hear in the account, "Ding, ding, 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 ding." And some people would just go off and start making calls and look for plans, asking people where are the plans. People would get excited. If it is on a Friday, my friend, people don't work because of the excitement of money. Joto ya pesa. People get excited about this amount of money, however little or however much. But as a financial person, I would advise you to hold off to before you spend, once you have received whatever amount of money, whether it is working or it's a windfall or inheritance or sale of a property, just wait it off for a few days to be able to be in the right mind and to be able to make a financial plan. I remember there was a time I was looking at losing some weight, and I really took the time to create goals that were sustainable. I would try and I would do a diet here, I would walk here, I would exercise here, I would pay for a gym for 2 days. I attend and don't do it anymore. But later on, I realized that my biggest problem is I never took the time to be able to consciously, without excitement or fear, make a decision and a plan ahead of how I need to be able to do this. I never tracked my money. I never tracked my weight. I never had a smartwatch, or I never looked at my blood pressure. I never looked at my blood sugar. All these things that help you know, the indicators that help you know whether you're making progress. And that is what this guy will do. It is funny that in the end, when the guy says that he went to withdraw money to pay for a bill in a pub and realized he had 8 shillings. So this guy really never thought this money would not come to an end. He waited until he could not be able to pay a bill, and he was actually to pay a pub bill, a bill in a bar. This lady notices that the money is over and disappears and scatters. Goes on to say that, you know what, my husband who is in the army has come back. So clearly, we also need to understand that there are people who come because of the pocket that you give, because of the assets that you have, because of the good things that can be shaken out of you. A lot of people have the problem of differentiating between good friends and many friends. You can have many friends, but not quality friends. You need to have few who are not there because of what can be shaken around and fall from your pocket, but because of who you are. People who are loyal. So this lady scatters once this guy cannot be able to be shaken anymore and get any more money. And that is the problem with people. You end up entertaining a lot of people, buying beer for a lot of people, entertaining the demands and requirements of a lot of people, but they are not really true friends. They are there just because of what they can be able to gain from you. And once you have been shaken down, they scatter. So you can imagine the disappointment when the guy goes back home, whether to a wife or to a family. I'm sure they're dependents. He comes back home and they believe he sold land, so he should come back with money. Then he comes with nothing. Sometimes, as men, we make funny decisions also. The people who depend on you, your family, end up suffering the most. I remember, like the stories I used to tell you, I've told you earlier, when men would get coffee bonuses or daily bonuses when they are paid. The wife has been putting a lot of work towards this farming, but the guy gets the money and disappears for a week. It is the same story over and over and over. We need to understand that we need to hold off some of these pleasures because they come at a very big cost. Why entertain yourself for a day and your child goes hungry for a week? Why spend money in a pub only to struggle the last week of the month, borrowing left, right, and center, getting to debt with Shylocks and losing your own household stuff? Those are some of the things that we are talking about. And remember, when you're not accountable with little, when you're not able to be planned with the little that you have, even when you have a windfall, you'll not be able to do anything about it because you only amplify the bad decisions you've been making with small monies. And remember, all these friends who are cheering you on and telling you, yes, let's do this. One more round. Hey, 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 hey. Once the money disappears, they disappear. So find out what is important to you. Invest in what is important to you. If your family is important, invest in things that can be able to benefit your family, not other people out there. My friends, your financial future is in your hands. Decide what you want to do with it. You can enjoy a little pleasure for a week and suffer for a lifetime. It is hard to see a grown up man cry. There are several things that get to me. The first thing that gets to me when I see an old man cry. It's painful when an old man cries. But don't get to the point where you yourself have to shed tears. When a man cries, it has touched him. So it is good to learn from this situation because it happens time and time and time and time again. People who chase the latest whims and the latest pleasures end up losing money and forsake their family. They lose the money, they lose their families. They end up desperate and broke. I hope you're learning, you're growing, and becoming better in your financial affairs. If you come across another financial story, be sure to send a comment down in the comment section so that I can be able to do a reaction video. Because sometimes we learn through other people's circumstances. You learn how to avoid a pothole by seeing somebody get into a pothole so that you yourself, when you get to that point, you avoid it. Hope you're learning, you're growing, and becoming better. Remember to subscribe to the channel, to leave a comment down in the comment section, and to like this video. Thank you. Enjoy your day.